Is being a streamer an easy job? Yes. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about it. So, a couple of days ago, discussions around this topic came up when streamer Hasan had a clip of him talking about this topic. Hasan says that streaming is harder than working a real job, skull emoji.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome, a real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you, you know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
15 million views alone on this tweet, and obviously a lot of the comments are people calling him out for being out of touch. Now there's an extended clip where he mentions that he is referring to having his social battery drained after 9 hours of essentially performing live.
No, social battery wise, unless you're in retail, 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me, but I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
And all of this sparked this giant discussion around whether or not streamers have it easy, with big streamers like Asmongold giving his take regarding the social battery aspect.
After you spend 9 hours being investigated by thousands of people with every facial movement, with people constantly trying to disagree with you and fight with you, that's not socially draining.
While other streamers disagreeing with Hasan's take entirely. So I want to talk about it myself as someone who has been a streamer for almost a decade now. It's been a long time. I started as a wee baby and now I am getting old. My bones ache. And I don't understand a lot of the lingo the kids use. First of all, I don't think any big streamers would disagree that streaming is a very, very awesome job to have. I don't think any one of us would disagree that we lead very lucky lives, essentially playing video games for a living. I feel Hasan was more talking about how it can be hard to have any social battery left because essentially you have to put on a performance non-stop every day for hours and hours, and every day the performance is different, which is something I agree with. I think the main reason why people are annoyed with him is because generally when privileged people complain about things, valid or invalid, it can come off as a bit out of touch, which I also agree with. And in Hasan's defense, the guy streams for long hours. I don't think he should be raked over the coals because he talked about one negative aspect of being a streamer. Me personally, I learned to not vocalize the challenges I face as a streamer because I recognize that I am in a very lucky position to do what I do, to play video games for a living. I'm a lucky guy. But there are challenges that are unique to being a streamer. As with all jobs have their unique challenges, including streaming. So today I want to talk about the good and the bad of being a streamer. Let's go over the good, which is gonna be a lot longer than the bad. The good is you get to set your own time. Like I get to wake up whenever I want. I get to stream whenever I want. I can wake up at 1 p.m. and stream at 6 p.m. I can take any days off I want if I really want to. A common cliche with streamers is that if you ask a streamer what day of the week it is, they actually don't know because they don't track weekdays and weekends. This is very true. Back when I was a software developer, I knew exactly which day of the week it was. I loved Fridays, loved Saturdays. Sundays are like kind of good, but then that anxiety and the idea of going back to work just looms over you and how you're supposed to enjoy your Sunday. Setting your own time, it's amazing. It's great, it's awesome. Money. So if you haven't seen my How Streamers Make Money video, essentially most top streamers are millionaires. Anyone with over 10,000 viewers on a very consistent basis can reach this figure in a few years. But remember, this only applies to the top streamers. What you don't hear about are the other 99% of streamers that are struggling, that aren't making any money. It's like famous actors. You only know the famous and popular ones. You don't know the actors that are struggling to get roles, that are in a bunch of auditions, that are working as extra, working as Uber drivers. I live in Los Angeles. I would say 30% of my Uber drivers are aspiring actors. So it's a struggle out there, and it's the same for streamers. The idea is the same. It's an entertainment business. So the money is very good if you're one of the top streamers. Otherwise, you're barely making anything. At around 500 viewers, you start being able to sustain yourself. Another pro, obvious one, you play video games for a living, or you talk for a living, or you react to YouTube videos for a living. It's awesome. No bosses, no customers, there's no one you have to please. Sure, you wanna obviously make your chat happy, make your viewers happy, provide them entertaining content, but there's no real requirement to treat someone a certain way. You don't have to report to anyone, someone that might have a big effect on your career, like a boss. You don't have one. You don't have to check your emails and like stress about them messaging you. You don't have to deal with rude customers. You don't have to deal with anyone. Hell, if a viewer's being annoying, just ban them. And one more big bonus, not being forced to commute or live somewhere. Your workplace is literally your bedroom. I can roll out of bed, skip brushing my teeth, skip showering, and just turn on the stream. And I have done that. Not like my viewers can smell me. That saves hours and hours of commute time, travel time, or just being forced to rent an apartment in another state, in another country, in another continent to do a job, right? It's just your bedroom. So you can do your job from anywhere in the world. Now, what are some of the challenges? Now, I'm going to preface this and say these challenges, I know does not compare to the challenges of traditional working jobs, but I'm still going to talk about them. Okay? Don't get mad at me. Job security. Obviously a big one. If you're a streamer that specializes in a specific game, for example. For me, it was Hearthstone. Then your career is kind of tied to how popular that game is. Hearthstone doing good, I'm doing good. Hearthstone doing bad, I'm doing bad. Whether or not you can pivot, it's a combination of your entertainment value as a streamer and also timing. Like sometimes I look at my friends who are still in the Hearthstone scene and it's been going down, because Hearthstone is not the popular game it was 9 years ago. So I jumped ship to Teamfight Tactics, and I got burned out of that, and jumped ship to Among Us, and then did Variety, and now I kind of just do whatever. But not all streamers even have that ability. Even I struggled with it at the very beginning of my streaming career. I tried to pivot out of Hearthstone, but it was really hard because nobody gave a shit about what I was doing unless it's Hearthstone, and then I got scared. I'm like, oh my god, I'm the Hearthstone guy, I guess. I just gonna stream Hearthstone all the time. But luckily I was able to transition. Not everyone else was able to, and now a lot of them had to retire from streaming because hey, it doesn't pay the bills anymore. So job security all over the place. It's easy to think, wow, what about that one big streamer? What about that one big YouTuber? You always think about the big YouTubers and the big streamers that are still doing their thing, right? PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. Now those are the big guys. They're the exception to the rules. But I challenge all of you to think about a YouTuber that you used to watch 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Hell, maybe that YouTuber is me. Well, where are they now? I haven't heard from them in a while. And then you bring up their channels like, oh, they're still uploading content, except no one's watching now. Or they just retired. Here's an example. That channel for me was Rooster Teeth. 15 years ago, I used to watch, 15, maybe 12. I don't know, it's been a long time. And they would make Minecraft videos, Halo videos, and I would watch a lot of it. But then over the years, I lost interest. Their content didn't really evolve, and now they're still uploading content, but barely anyone's watching because a lot of their audience has just grew out of it, just stopped watching. Like I said, maybe that YouTuber is me. Maybe you watch me for a lot of Among Us now. I just talk about esports and random ass stuff. It's like, shit, yeah, no, that YouTuber is you, Toast. Which is true, which can be true. You need to stay on top. Not only do you have to be aware, you also have to have the capability to stay on top. Not all streamers can do that. I don't think I can do that. I've transitioned from Hearthstone to TFT to Among Us. But all of that are, strategy game related, there's strategic thinking involved. What if there's a game that is really popular that requires zero strategy? Well, then I'm kind of screwed because a lot of my appeal is strategy. So job security always looming in the back of every streamer's mind, no matter how big they are. Social politics. Now this is something that also exists in the traditional workplace, but in streaming, it matters a lot more. Careers can be made based off who you know, who you're friends with. Some people in the scene are very genuine, while others, they're just social climbing. And hey, that's just part of the game. You ask any streamer, they say, hey, I respect the hustle. But yeah, it's just kind of ingrained into streaming culture. I would describe the streaming space like high school. A lot of social politics and a lot of emotionally immature children. It can be very hard to know who your real friends are. It took me a long time to kind of have this core group of friends that I know are my friends and who I can treat as more friendly social acquaintances. Another downside is no set hours. Nah, You might be trying to say, hey, Toast, you said no set hours was a positive. You're trying to pull a fast one and say it's a negative? Well, it can also be bad because let's say your boss says to you, hey, Steve, your hours this week can be whatever you want. You work 10 hours, I'll pay you 10 hours. You work 100 hours, I pay you 100 hours. And you're like, wow, okay, well, I could use some extra money, so I'm gonna work a lot more this week. And then the next week comes around, it's like, wow, I worked really hard last week. And then you work more hours, and you work more hours, and then you get burnt out. And like maybe 1 week, okay, I'm gonna just work 10 hours. And then your boss says to you, oh, by the way, when you're not working, I'm gonna have someone else working. If I like them more than you, I'm gonna give your job to them. That's what streaming is. Because when you're not streaming, you're competition streaming. Everyone wants to be a streamer. There's so much competition, especially if you're focused on a specific game. Let's say you're a Fortnite streamer. You're the best Fortnite streamer. Well, there's a second best Fortnite streamer. So if you're taking a vacation, all your viewers are watching the second place Fortnite streamer. Oh my God, Ninja's the biggest streamer. Wait, this Tfue guy's pretty good. Okay, maybe I'll watch Tfue, maybe I'll watch Ninja. Oh shit, they're streaming both at the same time? Who am I gonna watch? When TFT first came out, I really wanted to be the biggest streamer in TFT. You know what I did? I streamed 12 hours every day for a month. And then I burned myself out because I got so tired, I got so exhausted physically and mentally. And one day I had a breakdown of going, does this matter? So then I quit streaming TFT. And the biggest challenge, I think, for all streamers, not just big streamers, there's no guide on how to be successful. You know, most jobs, they kind of have like a hierarchy system. You got a boss that teaches you, a supervisor that checks your work, and then maybe one day you have employees under you, and there's kind of like an upwards progression system laid out. It's never like a linear one. Like sometimes you jump up in the same org, sometimes you switch orgs and then you jump up. But streaming has essentially nothing. Like they tell you what hardware to buy. Here's the webcam, here's the microphone, and here's the software. Go be a streamer. Go make content. I just press go live. Oh shit, no one's watching. Okay, well maybe I should make funny TikToks. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. Maybe I should post thirst trap on Instagram. There's no rules and guides to becoming a successful streamer. If you ask 10 big streamers on how they became successful, you'll get 10 different answers. Luck plays a big role, timing plays a big role, and effort plays a big role. Like someone like Jinxie, for example, like one of the top streamers on Twitch right now, averages 80,000 viewers. In 2019, he streamed every day to 1 viewer for a whole year. And in 2020, he averages 50 viewers. And then in 2023, he averages 80,000. Like there's no, don't go streaming a year to 1 viewer. I don't think anyone should be doing that. But it just goes to show like he suddenly became super funny, awesome overnight. No, it's probably because he had good content that just wasn't discovered initially. But then, you know, over time he got better and better at it. Not because he streamed to 1 viewer specifically, but because he probably spent a lot of time trying to understand it. And then there's probably a small portion of luck involved. Every streamer is a combination of all 3. Luck, effort, and just general entertainment value, I'd say. Most of them check all 3 marks. Like I consider myself pretty lucky with, for example, Among Us. COVID happened, it was just me and 3 friends playing it. Didn't think it was a big deal. And because that was the only game I was playing, I just kept uploading. And did I think it was gonna be big? No. It just became big because of the pandemic and I was in the right place at the right time. These are all just personal challenges I face. I know it's nothing compared to what most people deal with on a day-to-day basis. So thank you all very much for allowing me to do what I do. It's been 9 years now, and I am still very grateful every single day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.